Good morning, traders. Richard Jetta, quick Ichimoku cloud chart market review of the Nasdaq 100 E-mini futures contract. We're right here at the bottom in the cloud chart resistance zone. Now, we highlighted this in the previous update on the Nasdaq E-minis. We were around about here. We were expecting the index to retrace at least a 50% Fibonacci retracement of this significant move from these cloud chart support levels. It then managed to find support here at the turning line of the Ichimoku cloud, as well as the standard line there, and the bottom end of the front end of the cloud also became a significant support zone. And then we had a nice strong rally, broke through the top end of the front end of the cloud chart resistance zone, as well as this moving average, and then run into trouble with these moving averages coinciding with the bottom end of the Ichimoku cloud. Now, there's downside risk to retest this moving average there. That's the 377 exponential moving average, as well as the top end of the cloud there. And note how the turning line of the Ichimoku cloud is starting to level out there. So it will be interesting to see if we're going to find support at that confluence between the turning line and the top end of the front end of the cloud and then rebound from there, or are we going to dip back and retest the standard line of the Ichimoku cloud as well as the bottom end of the cloud. But so far we're still in bearish mode here, because price action below the cloud is bearish. For the futures to be really bullish, we need to break out past this top end cloud chart resistance zone and stay above the top end of the cloud. So that's kind of the catalyst we're looking for, a breakout past this top end cloud chart resistance. But over the medium and short term, there's downside risk to test these exponential moving averages, as well as the top end of the cloud, as well as the turning line and the standard line of the Ichimoku cloud. Keep an eye on those key levels. Turning to the weekly Ichimoku, you can see we did manage to rebound from this old cluster of support here, broke through the bottom end of the cloud, and now we're fighting that top end cloud chart resistance. Now note how close that is to the bottom end of the front end of the cloud, so that's also another resistance zone to deal with. So it will be interesting to see if we get a breakout past this zone. This will put the chart back in bullish zone on the weekly, significantly bullish. But if the resistance holds at this zone, and then we could come back to retest this bottom end cloud chart support zone there. If we look at the bottom end of the cloud there, as well as the top end of the front end of the cloud there, that zone there, you can see that's kind of a interesting. So 19,500 basically, significant support at the bottom in the cloud, as well as where the standard line and the turning line are flat leveling out there. You can see the turning line, standard line is actually leveling out there. So that's a significant support zone. So if we can rebound, maybe snap back a couple of days and then rebound from there to make another attempt at breaking past the top end cloud chart resistance there, and if we get past these levels, then we've got the top end of the cloud here as the next resistance zone. But if a resistance holds here, like we've seen on the daily, we could easily pull back and retest this 19,491 bottom end of the Ichimoku cloud. Turning to the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud, we can see the nice cloud chart cross breakout here. That was the last major swing trade buy signal, and note how the standard line of the Ichimoku cloud here became key support. Now we've got the risk of pulling back down, and keep an eye on for support at the bottom end of the front end of the cloud. You can see in the 4-hour one, it's that zone, the 19,439 and 19,491 comes off the daily and the weekly. So that's interesting to see. We're going to test these two lows, these two levels here, and then possibly rebound from there. If support fails at these levels, we can dip back down here just between 18,800 and 1900 at that bottom end cloud chart support zone. So watch out for, could see a retest of the top end of the cloud here, and if support fails at that zone, then the bottom end of the Ichimoku cloud. But back to the daily, keep an eye on those key levels, looking out for that resistance level here, with critical support here at the top end and front end of the cloud, as well as the standard line, turning line, and the standard line of the Ichimoku cloud. That's the turning line and that's the standard line. So keep an eye on those key levels for potential support, but we really need to see a breakout past the top end of the Ichimoku cloud. Until next time, happy cloud chart trading. Bye for now.